princesses.
Once upon a time, there was a queen. She lived in a castle with her 3 princess daughters. When they had grown old enough, she called them into her dining room, where they ate a special stew.
Kaylee, Lexi, and Kyra, this is our last meal together,
the queen said.
It's time for you to go out into the world and build your houses. You must leave tomorrow.
When the 3 little princesses heard this, they cried like thunder and begged their mother to let them stay. But the queen refused to change her mind. She gave each one a beautiful ring and told them to guard themselves carefully.
These rings are special,
she explained.
Stay near to one another, and if you are ever in danger, point all 3 rings to the sky, and you will be protected by an invisible fence.
The next day, the 3 little princesses set out into the world to build their houses. The world held many mysteries, but the sisters kept their chins up. They thought of all the fun they would have in their new homes. Kaylee had a hard time finding material for her house. She stumbled into an old barn and found some straw. She built a small little hut with the straw. Lexi wandered into the woods. She gathered many sticks, twigs, and branches. She built a small house out of wood. Kyra was the most hard-working of the sisters. She built a huge tower made out of stone. The tower had no entrance or exit. The sisters knew about the big bad wolf that prowled the country. They kept their rings on at all times. They remembered what their mother told them about the rings. They thought it was a good idea to protect themselves with other things in case the wolf came. Kaylee had a piece of coal. Lexi had a hairbrush. Kyra had a bed of thorns around the tower. They lived peacefully for a time. Each sister hosted her own housewarming party. Eventually, the wolf came. He went to Kaylee's house first. Little princess, let me in, the wolf called.
No!
Screamed Kaylee. She waved her arms and her piece of coal at the wolf. He didn't even blink. Come out or I'll blow your house down, said the wolf. The princess was scared and closed her eyes. The wolf blew her house down. She quickly ran to her sister Lexi's house.
Oh, Lexi, can you help me? There's a big bad wolf after me.
Lexi let her sister in and quickly grabbed her closest hairbrush. She pointed the hairbrush at the door. Kaylee hid behind her. The wolf came a few minutes later. Little princess, let me in, called the wolf.
No!
Screamed Lexi.
You'll just eat me.
Smart princess, muttered the wolf.
If you don't let me in, I'll blow your house down,
roared the wolf. The princesses refused to let the wolf inside. The wolf was angry, so he blew the house down. Quickly, The sisters ran to the third sister's house.
Please, Kyra, help us.
They wailed.
Of course.
Cried Kyra. She let down her hair, and her sisters climbed to safety.
Wow, you guys are heavy. What's wrong? Are you okay?
Said Kyra.
No.
Her sisters said.
A big bad wolf is after us, and he blew our houses down. He'll blow your house down too. Take a breath, sisters.
Said Kyra.
I'm sure he can't blow my house down.
Soon the big bad wolf came again.
Little princess, let down your hair.
Okay.
Said Kyra. And to the amazement of her siblings, she let down her hair. Kyra winked at her sisters. The wolf was a little surprised, but he started climbing up. When he was halfway up, Kyra cut her hair, and the wolf tumbled down onto the thorns.
That takes care of the wolf.
Kyra said. The sisters felt relieved. The sisters lived together in Kyra's stone tower. Kaylee got a job working in the mines with their neighbors. She always wore her ring and carried a piece of coal just in case she saw the big bad wolf again. Lexi loved styling Kyra's hair. She got so good at it that she opened up her own beauty salon. She had customers from all over the country, including her own mother, the Queen. And of course, she always wore her ring and carried a hairbrush with her for protection. Kyra was a little restless in her big tower. She busied herself taking care of her sisters. She cooked for them and kept the tower clean. She let her hair grow and made a rope out of her hair to get in and out of the tower. She loved to take care of the bed of thorns that surrounded it. Of course, she always wore her ring. Days and weeks, months and years passed. The wolf spent all his time wandering in the woods. Eventually, he wandered back to Kyra's tower.
Please, Kyra, let me in.
The wolf wailed.
I am hungry. I am tired.
The wolf didn't know it, but Kyra was outside tending her bed of thorns. Her sisters were both coming home from work. They saw the wolf and Kyra outside the stone tower. They ran as fast as they could to rescue her. They had their rings ready and their coal and hairbrush in their hands. They got to Kyra just as she said,
Oh, Wolf, I am so sorry.
The big bad wolf heard Kyra's voice so near. He was sad and hoped that Kyra would forgive him for scaring her. A tear fell from Kyra's eye and dropped on the wolf's furry face, just as the sisters pointed their rings to the sky. There they stood. The invisible fence protected them. The wolf stood up on his back legs. By the time he was standing, he had turned into a young prince with warm hazel eyes.
Oh, Wolf,
Kyra stammered from behind the invisible fence.
you look quite different.
I am Prince Aiden, from the kingdom beyond the mountain, the prince said. I have been wandering the woods as a wolf. I have been searching for someone who is truly kind to others. You have been very kind to me. even though I looked like a scary wolf. Will you be my princess? The sisters lowered their hands. Kaylee and Lexi went back to work. Kyra and Prince Aiden were married and moved to the kingdom beyond the mountain. Everyone lived happily ever after.
Discuss. What does kept their chins up mean? Is this phrase literal or figurative?